Hi everyone, it's Amanda from I Sew a Lot, and this is my new video all about my April makes. For those of you who in the past have complained about the length of my videos and my number of makes into one and have asked me to split them between two, you'll be pleased to hear that this is a short video because this month I have not lived up to my namesake of I Sew a Lot. I haven't sewn a lot at all. Unfortunately, at the beginning of the month, my son Rowan was really poorly, had some kind of gastro bug, and so it meant, and he was out of action for about a week. So I had quite a lot of sleepless nights, and it kind of took the wind out of my sails, I have to say. So I didn't really get that much sewing done this month. Although that said, I made 4 things, but I actually only have 3 to show you, and within those is a pair of jeans and a coat. So, you know, it's not, it could be worse. Okay, so the first thing I've got to show you is that which I'm wearing. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen that I posted it this weekend, and it is a seamwork Astoria. I'm going to try and put a picture here. And it is, like I say, one of the Seamwork magazine patterns. I've had it in my stash for a long time, but I was really unsure about the length. So as you can see, it is a cropped length. It just hits my waist. I saw that a lot of other people that have made it have actually lengthened it, but then I don't like the way it sits lower down on your waist and sort of bends out. The band sort of arches outways. I don't really like that. So I was looking for a cropped sweater, and I think this is perfect. I think if you weren't going to wear it with really high-waisted items, then yes, you probably would need to lengthen it. And if you weren't happy about maybe people having a slight glimpse of your flesh, then again, you're going to need to lengthen it because it is cropped. But that's the style. So the additions that I made, I added cuffs to the sleeves, which is a preferred method of mine because I don't like it when you turn up the hems and just stitch them. I don't really like that. I think there's a risk of it stretching, and it has a tendency to tunnel as well, so I wouldn't use that. I think cuffs are a much better option. And once you've cut the piece for your cuff, you have it every other time. So, but it does obviously have the band. Let me just put this down a bit. The band along the bottom, which is quite nice and wide. I think that's a really nice feature. And what else did I do? The neckband. The neckband, I used the normal trick of measuring my neckband, my neck opening, and adding my seam allowance to it, and then I took that measurement, and because I was using a Pontoroma which isn't as stretchy as some jerseys, like a lighter weight jersey, I used 75% of that measurement, and that was the length I cut my neckband, and it's perfect. I haven't got any puckers. It turned out so well. I can show you the back as well. So it turned out really well, and I sewed the whole thing on my overlocker, apart from I basted the neckband on, but then I overlocked that as well. It probably took me under an hour, but I wasn't rushing. I'm really pleased with the fit. I did take all down this seam in, probably only to about bust height, by about ½ an inch on each side, which I think, and it was only once I had to take it in, so for me that is perfect. I really like where the shoulder sits, although I have adjusted my pattern to take it in ½ inch on each side, but I think that's quite a good fit for me actually. So I'm really pleased with it. I love the colour. It's made, like I say, from a Pontoroma, which I think I got from eBay, but I don't know where. I'll put the link down below for anybody who wants to have a look. I don't know if they've still got it, but yes, I will do that. Okay, so my next make I'm also wearing, and as you probably saw if you have been watching my previous vlogs or follow me on Instagram that I made some dungarees from the McCall's M7547 pattern, and I had great success with those, so I've decided to make a pair of jeans. So I'll show you. And they are really high-waisted, as you can see. There's a side zip. I used a concealed zip, although it just does require a regular zip and it's lapped, but I don't like the finish on that. If I can just show you the length and the leg width, and also it's got the really nice slanty pockets. I put some snaps on here just because I'm obsessed with my new Vario pliers. It's got pockets on the back, and I think the fit is really good. I'm really pleased with them. The only trouble I do have, I don't know if you can see, is that I have a bit of gape on my waistband. But I think that is down to the fact that when I made the dungarees, oops, you don't want to see all that, that's just my husband's clothes. When I made the dungarees, the waistband called to be, for the fabric to be eased into it, and it made it really tight, so I was a bit nervous about using the standard pattern piece for the trousers, but the front's okay, but the back gapes slightly, so I probably should have shortened it slightly, but like I say, I was a bit concerned that it was going to be too tight, so I left it as it was. Okay, so really happy with those, so I'll definitely make them again. I'd like to make a lighter pair for the summer, and maybe a pair from some different coloured denim as well, because it's a relatively quick make. Although, as you'll see if you follow me on Instagram, I was near to finishing them, and I did put in a zip which was given to me by my mother-in-law, and she was like, oh, I found these zips at a car boot or whatever it was, and they were £1 each, so I grabbed loads, and she gave it to me, and I put it in, tried to do the trousers up, and it broke straight away. So lesson learned, don't buy cheap zips. So I replaced it for a more expensive zip, and it's been fine. Okay, so the other thing that I made, which I have to admit took me ages, was the Sew Over It Chloe coat. And I'm going to put it on, although I know I have a mustard top on, so you're probably not going to get the right effect because it's pink. But yes, I really like it. I'm going to stand back and show you. Okay, so it's a 60s style coat. It's got an open-ended zip, I can do up, which I've never sewn before. It's got a placket which covers the zip, and it's got patch pockets on the front. And yeah, what I also did, I'll get a bit closer, is, like in my Claire coat, I've added some piping in between my lining and my facing, because I think that gives it a nicer finish. My lining was just a navy rayon, viscose I mean, which I picked up from Adam Ross Fabrics, and the outer is a stretch cotton that I got from Sew Over It. It's got a really nice texture to it, and it's surprisingly warm, this coat. I have to admit, I was a bit concerned about making it out of a stretch cotton because I thought it probably wouldn't be warm enough, but I've worn it since, and obviously the weather in the UK is still a bit changeable, and it's been fine. It's been really nice and warm. What additions did I make? I added an 1.5 inches to the sleeve length because I have quite long arms, although when I turned it up, it says to turn it up 5 centimetres, and I actually turned it up 7, so I probably added about 1 inch overall. Other than that, oh, I really like when you make the pattern, because it comes as a course, you can't buy the pattern on its own. It's an introduction to sewing coats on the from Sew Over It, and I like that you sew the shoulder seams together and then it gets you to check the fit of the sides. I took both sides, it has a 2 centimetre seam allowance, so it's larger than normal to make way for adjustments that you might need to make. I took it in by 1 inch on either side, and that seemed perfect for me, because obviously, as you know, I'm quite narrow in the torso. I also lengthened, because it has, I don't know if you can see, but it has 2 big darts that run all the way down and they're underneath the pocket. I lengthened those by about 1 inch because they stopped here, which was just under my bust line. So I lengthened those by 1 inch, which, you know, that was really easy to do. And again, the pattern reminds you at the right stage for carrying out these alterations. And the only problem I had, although I thought I measured my zip placement really well, when I finally sewed it together and top stitched, I realised that my zips were out. So my front facing was like that, so it was poking up away from the neckline. So unfortunately I had to take it all apart and stitch it back together, and I was a little bit like Voldemort. I did terrible things, but amazing things to get it back together. But yes, I'm really pleased with it. My husband thinks I look like either the Queen Mother or I'm going to a wedding because of the floral fabric, but I don't care. I really like it. So yes, I've been wearing it because it's quite smart, but I think it does go with dark jeans, because as you can see the flowers are a navy, so I think it goes with dark jeans, so I've been wearing it with my jeans as well. Right, and the other thing I made, which I didn't have success with either, I'm going to try and insert a picture of me wearing it, but it is from my Instagram feed. I don't know if I actually have a picture of it, so I should be able to screenshot it and put it here. But I made the Closet Case Files netty bodysuit, like I said I was going to, and it was the first thing I made. I made the high neck version. It had a high neck and a high back, and the neckband was ridiculously short. I kind of trusted it and thought it was going to be okay, but it wasn't. But I fully appreciate that it must be really, really hard for pattern companies to give you guidance on the neckband, because everybody's fabric has a different amount of stretch. So I measured it and thought it was going to be fine, but it wasn't. It was really, really tight. But I think that, coupled with the fact that the pattern, and I've since read some blogs about this pattern, and the shoulders are really, really narrow. I think, let me take this off because I'm getting really hot. The shoulder seam was something like here, and this portion was really, really narrow, and I guess I should have measured it before I made it, but I checked on everyone else, and I think if the neckband perhaps hadn't been so tight, that may have resolved it. But yeah, I didn't like the width of the shoulders, and if I were to make it again, I would redraft the pattern to make it wider. I have since read Heather Lou's blog over on Closet Case Files, and she says that people have made comments about the width of the shoulders, but she has narrow shoulders. But I have very narrow shoulders, as you can obviously see, and it was still substantially too small for me. So I will make it again, but I would redraft that element of it. Everything else was fine. But what happened then was, because I was so unhappy with the neckband, I tried to take it off and replace it with a larger neckband, which I did, and resolved it slightly because it made it more open, and therefore the shoulders were in a different placement. And then as I went to overlock it, I overlocked through the front as well as the band. And at that point I threw it in the bin because I just couldn't bear to look at it anymore, so it went in the bin. So unfortunately, and that is the most disastrous make I have had for, well, it is my only make that's actually ended up in the bin. I think my patience was waning at that point. So yes, I'm going to make another one, or I'm going to make a Tilly and the Buttons Agnes out of the same fabric, because the blue and white striped fabric goes really, really well with my dungarees, which was the intention, and would also go with my new McCall's jeans as well. So yes, I have had a productive month, but perhaps not quite as productive as normal. And I did think today, it's the 1st of May today, Me Made May has started. I did think perhaps I could get a couple of extra things made today, and then I thought that's not realistic, and you know, I'm the same as everybody else. I only have so many hours in the day, and sometimes you just can't be bothered to get the sewing machine out. The kids are in bed, you just want to sit in front of the telly like a vegetable. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to be back soon with a haul and plans video, although some of the plans are obviously going to roll over from last month because I didn't get to them. And I am hoping also to have another hour challenge coming soon, because I've got a couple of things in mind for that. So thanks for watching and all your lovely comments. I love reading them so much, so keep them coming, and I'll see you soon. Bye!